Sarnage.
Hi there guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Lynx, and a big welcome to a new feature that we're going to be starting here on my channel, which is going to be taking a look at all of the various model building, miniature painting and various other things of that category that I do in my spare time. So just a little bit of a background, I suppose, to start with. I've always loved model building. I've been a big fan of it right from little kid, building little model planes with my dad, all the way up to what you see here in Warhammer figures. Ooh, stand up there, you. These guys are very top heavy. I've always loved it. I've loved like the intricate details and the kind of just satisfaction that comes from building something from scratch to a finished product. It's just always been something I've loved doing. So in this kind of section of my channel, we're going to be looking at just about everything. So we're going to start today with some 40k. That's Warhammer. But that's not the only thing we're going to be doing here. I have plans for other kinds of model building, model painting that will be coming in the near future. So stay tuned, and if you like this video, do let me know, and I will be doing more of this sort in the future as well. So we are going to start by painting the fleshy areas, so all the legs, down the arms, the gun, the tail, chest area, and the head. That's going to be I'm going to use Seraphim Sepia for that, and then after that we're going to go over with Tyranid Stone. Okay, so next step is we're going to be adding the highlights. It's using a dry brush of Tyranid Stone. I'm going to use just my small dry brush here just to apply that. The key thing to remember when you're dry brushing is you don't want a lot of paint on your brush. That's why I've got the kitchen towel here, just to kind of wipe off most of the excess. So it's simply just a job of going over the areas that you hit with the shade and just letting the paint adhere to the ridges and the elevated points. You don't want to put too much pressure on it. Just let the paint stick where it wants to stick, and just keep going back and forward over the area until you've got a good covering. Okay, so we're moving on to our base coat of red. Just make sure you give your paints a good shake before you use them. So we're going to be using Mephiston red here as a base coat, and we're just going to be hitting up all of the carapace areas. So it's like the feet, the carapace itself, any little claws on the model, and giving them a base coat of this red. Okay, so we have the base coat for the red down. So like I said, got all the carapace, that bit on the gun there, and claws and feet all done. So next we're going to add a wash to those red areas, and we're going to use Agroc's Earthshade for that. And just like last time, just going to paint it onto the red areas, this time being a little bit careful because we don't want to overspill onto the areas we've already painted. And I find the best thing to do is to try and get a little bit of pooling just in the cracks and the recesses here, like just under the armor platings. It just adds a little bit of shade, but you just got to be careful not to get too much pooling on the flat surfaces. And if you do, you can just use your brush to kind of suck up any excess paint. So I'm just going to go over this with the shade, and yeah, more on the feet and all those spots that we hit with the red.
Okay, so time for highlighting. Now that the wash we just applied has dried nicely, we're just going to be applying this Asterath Red. I've got my small dry brush, and we're just going to be going kind of backwards up the plating in all the spots there. When dry brushing, you kind of want to go against the grain, so to speak. That way your brush only catches the edges and not the flat surfaces. This really brings out like the finer details and just makes like the edges and the paint job just pop. Okay, so time to add a bit of detail. We have a moot green here, Dark Angels ink, and Hellion green, and I'm just going to start using these to add a little bit of a color difference to certain parts of the model. This is the part that I really like. It's where you can kind of get a bit creative, just start dabbing on color in all kinds of different spots. And just, making the model a bit more personal. We've kind of got the base colors. Now's where we add the fun, And I found that these three colors together just add a really nice effect. So much so that when I eventually run out of the Dark Angels ink, I'm going to be really upset, because that's an archaic paint now. That was from when I first started collecting Warhammer. Probably about 10 to 15 years ago, and they don't make it anymore. So when it runs out, I'm going to be a little bit in trouble. I'll have to try and find a colour match for it. Maybe one of the new contrast paints will do, but for the time being, I still have it, and I love it. It's a really nice little... it's kind of like a wash, but not. So it's very interesting. It's a very nice little colour to paint with. Okay, so whilst we wait for the ink to dry, we're just going to work on another section. So we got a few paints here. We got Pink Horror, Genestealer Purple, and Emperor's Children, as well as this Carroburg Crimson Wash. And we're going to add some detail with fine detail brush here. Just going to work on the mouth and kind of like, you know, the tongue bits and such like. So we're going to start with the pink horror. Give it a good shake first, and yeah, then we're just going to go in and, you know, you got to be a bit careful, but if you get a little bit on the surrounding area, it's not the end of the world. I plan on coming back and doing the teeth as well, so if I get any of this on the teeth, I can just go over it later and it won't be a problem. Okay, so I've just got a little bit of this Seraphim sepia that I used on the skin earlier, and I'm just going to apply it over these bone swords. I've just given them a paint up with a bit of bleached bone beforehand, and together these two colours just kind of give a nice kind of gnarled, old aged bone kind of effect. I'm also going to be putting a little bit of this on the teeth and, you know, anywhere else that I've just hit up with a bit of bone, like on the end of the gun as well. It just adds a nice bony effect. Okay, so last thing I'm going to do, just got a bit of Uriel yellow and the Carberg crimson, and I'm just going to hit up just a little spot here behind the arms with the bone swords. This was not something I was going to originally do, but was suggested by my girlfriend, just to add a little point of colour difference, and I think it's going to look quite nice actually.
Hi guys, well that about wraps it up for this video. Um, I hope you enjoyed. I don't profess to be the best painter in the world, but I like to think I'm reasonably decent. Um, so I'll probably be posting these videos on a probably about a monthly basis, I would say, something like that. Um, so stay tuned if you like this. There'll be more coming. Do hit like if you like this video. Subscribe and ring the bell if you want to see more of my stuff. And until next time, have fun, stay safe.